The concept for the series is simple. What would happen if you took a vanilla Minecraft player and gave them all the mods to play with? Would they thrive in this beautiful and complex world? Or would it be simply too much for them to handle? Welcome to All the Mods 9. Hey everyone, my name is KryptoCal and welcome to the next episode of All the Mods 9. In the last episode, we went ahead and set up these 3 nitro reactors from Powa, and they are absolutely producing a ton of power. We also went ahead and set up the energizing orb down here with 12 nitro energizing rods all facing into it. So this is actually quite a fast setup. It could be faster. We could actually add more of these, but I think this is going to be fast enough for what we're going to need right now. And underneath there, I had a crafter from Refined Storage that actually wasn't hooked up before, but in between episodes, I went ahead and actually hooked that up here. So basically I have one recipe in here for now, which is going to be the blue ice turning into dry ice. Now, dry ice is a coolant we can use in the reactors to help it produce a little bit more power. So I thought it might be worthwhile to have this on autocraft. And what I have this set to is just redstone pulse inserts next set, because the problem is with these is if you basically let it run nonstop, it'll keep putting items into the energizing orb. And the problem with that is, unfortunately, if you put more than the desired recipes amount in, it'll kind of lock the orb up and it won't really know what to do and it won't craft anything. And then we have to unclog it and it's a big nightmare. So basically what I have set down there is just a way for it to tell it when it has finished one recipe to send it in the next one. And the way it's doing that is by using this modular router here, has a detector module. Once it has something in the inventory here, that means that it's actually grabbed whatever the resultant output from the orb is, and that makes it so that it knows to send a signal to send the next recipe. All that being said, it's just a very simple way to automate the orb just so that it doesn't get clogged up. But anyway, we did a lot of automation in the last episode, and frankly, I think it's time for an adventure.
Let's do it.
So I'm thinking what we're going to go do is find basically the home of what is the Leviathan.
Ooh.
Now, the Leviathan isn't a mob that actually just exists in the world. You actually have to summon it. And to summon it, you have to craft up one of these abyssal sacrifices. It's actually one of the things required for the star. You require 2 abyssal sacrifices to craft one of the wither compass. So we're going to need a couple of these. It's actually pretty simple. All it requires is some stuff that we already have an absolute ton of, like the Heart of the Seas, the Nautilus shells, and all of these other resources. The only 2 things that we don't have are this little sword called the Athame. Okay. It's a sword that's dropped by some of these deepling. I don't know if you've seen these mobs before in the ocean, Grace, but they're the deepling mobs.
Yes, I have. We have a spawn egg for one of them. I got one when I was killing one.
But these only drop though from very specific versions of those deeplings, from the warlocks or the priests. So there's 2 of them that we need. We're going to need quite a few of these swords, so it might probably be a good idea to go and swab one of these guys at the location we're going to be going to. But also, we're going to need to get the crystallized coral, which is dropped by what's called the Coralsis, and he is also a mob that spawns in that building that we're going to be going to. So we're going to want at least 2 swabs with us today. We're going to bring them back to farm. Other than that, we're pretty much good to go. Once we have one abyssal sacrifice made, we can actually summon the Leviathan and fight that boss battle. Now, I don't think the Leviathan actually drops anything that we desperately need.
But hear me out. Can we put it in amber?
Just
for funsies,
probably for science.
For science.
What we're looking for, I believe, is something called, if I type in a cataclysm, it's called the Sunken City. So if we go ahead and search this up, how far away are we going to have to go? Oh, 8,000 blocks. It looks like it's back towards spawn, so I'm thinking it might be best to teleport to the end portal, because we went super far for that. The end stronghold is 6,000 blocks in that direction.
Yeah, that's definitely... It's in an ocean, too.
I want to just craft up one more thing before we go. Now that we have basically an infinite amount of power, or at least enough to not worry about it as much anymore. What we can actually craft up, instead of what we had before being the advanced wireless point that we have, that's giving us 1,000 blocks of range, we can actually craft up something called the dimension card. This works as an infinite range for refined storage across all dimensions. So we basically have access to our refined storage system anywhere we are in the entire world. It requires 4 of these infinity boosters. You can actually just make this one work okay. This one is just an infinite range only in the overworld, or whatever range it's, or whatever dimension that this is in. So we can technically set up this in the overworld and just have infinite range here, but I figure we might as well just go all the way and get the dimensional one at the same time. The only thing that I'm looking at that we might not have is the Enderium. I think we can probably just manually craft up as much as we're going to need here. There is a manual recipe for it. That is all the Enderium plates we're going to need. And we'll get this. And here's our last infinity booster. So we have 4 of these. And then we're going to turn that into one of this, the dimension card. Now, this does require a lot of power. So that's why I was holding off for now. I don't think you can put this inside of the advanced transmitter. Yeah, it doesn't actually work here. So we're going to actually have to delete the transmitter there and just get the normal one back out. And here we go. We have infinite range for our refined storage. And this is costing us 8,000 FE per tick, which is not cheap, but we thankfully have hundreds of thousands coming in right now. Make sure you do have access to the wireless grid. Okay, good. Now that we have that, we're going to head off and find that sunken city. Oh, here it is. It's coming into view. It is quite large. First, we have to get a couple other resources that we're going to need to farm, and then we can look at taking on the Leviathan. I guess we got to break ourselves in here. And we are in. Okay, so I see a couple mobs that we need already over there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those. One of these being the Coralsis. And is this a brute? No, we don't want a brute. We don't want the deepling. We want, what are they called? It's the priest. Oh, the warlock here. That'll be good. All right, I think that was everything we needed. Now we can pretty much just end everybody in here. End them all. This is one of the things that we need. A Thame dagger. And then there's also this guy, the Coralsis. Come here, buddy. And he dropped one of these fragments. I guess we need 4 of those to craft up into the thing we need. So one of those guys dropped a Heart of the Sea.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen.
I don't see that in the mob drop list, which is interesting. Oh yeah, there's loot to be had.
Nothing of relevance, really.
Maybe if we were like super early game. All right, well, we need to get a couple more of these crystallized coral fragments. So hopefully we can find some more of these guys.
Oh, well, I found one, but I put him in a quantum catcher.
I swabbed him, so like theoretically we can farm him, I guess, also using the amber bees. I know we can definitely farm him using the amber bees. I don't know about the Leviathan, but we'll see. So I'll just maybe get these guys farmed up here for a sec and I'll come back. Whoa, why is he mad? Where's
a deepling?
Why did you bring him here? Well, now he's dead.
Oh. It's not funny anymore. No, it's just kind of sad.
So this should hopefully allow us to farm up the Coralsis if I put that inside.
He's an amber.
Oh, you got him in amber?
Yep.
This guy is having some issues. Maybe he needs a dragon egg to ignore conditions. There we go.
Wow, this guy looks so silly trapped in amber.
I also just made the crystallized coral, so we should have enough stuff to make that first heart. We can auto-craft up one of the nautilus shells, and there we go. Our first abyssal sacrifice. So that's how we actually summon in the Leviathan. I guess we'll put him in a quantum catcher if we can.
Come see how this lad looks in amber. Sorry, what was the drop called again?
Crystallized coral fragments. He just dropped 40 of them. Wow, okay. We need 36 of these pretty much is what we need. But anyway, let's go and fight the Leviathan, shall we? Or at least see what it looks like. We have to box him up and bring him home. But so what you do, Grace, come here. Take the heart.
Sure. Oh boy.
He looks a little stuck, actually.
Oh, hey, sir. Get in the cube. No, he won't get in the cube. Oh, yeah, he did.
Well, that was cool. We can maybe make one more of those and actually defeat him. We'll keep that one for farming later, but we'll do one more fight just for fun. Just to say we did it. I'll go and summon this one.
Just to say we did it. Instead of just putting him in a cube and farming him with bees.
Oh, here we go. Round 2.
Anything?
It actually kind of hurts.
Yeah, I know.
It actually did damage to me.
Ow. He's almost dead. There he is. He's dead.
He has been defeated.
Oh, never mind.
Phase 2.
Phase 2, baby. Let's go. You trying to escape? Bro.
Where do you think you're going, buddy? Oh,
nope.
Got him.
Look at you go.
I got the tidal claws and an abyssal egg. We can grow a Leviathan at home. Wow, the reward for killing the Leviathan gave me a bucket.
Ooh.
All the Leviathans drops aren't really required for anything. I just figured it'd be kind of fun to actually defeat the Leviathan because it's one of the cooler bosses in the Cataclysm mod. But I'm gonna drown, so time to head home, I think.
Though I will say, I want to play a fun game. Do you want to play the game with me?
Of can Leviathan get put in amber?
Will it amber? Let's go.
We need a new segment. Oh, Gentlemen, hi.
So this is gonna cause problems. We gotta not aggro it, so we gotta hide first.
I don't know if it'll aggro or not. If it can't, if it can't see us, and it's not in water either, so I don't know.
Ah!
Oh.
It broke the glass. Go bees, be free.
Uh-oh. I think the bees are toast.
Did it kill my bee?
I think the bee's dead.
How is he able to see you through the glass?
Ow, 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 ow.
Oh, he killed my bees. Oh, okay, I don't mess with this lad. I just want to get him in amber, though. I don't want to farm him. I just want to demoralize him. Don't get it twisted. This is entirely personal.
Well, he broke the bedrock. See, now what you can do is if you make a shrinking device, should be able to set this to let me shrink. Hello, I am small.
Oh, you are so little?
And I can go, wee.
Where are you? He's beyond.
I'm outside. Do you have it in your...
Wait, it worked. Wait, it worked. Oh, I am so little. So, here's the plan. Leviathan, put him in the box. We hide out here where he can't see us. I put the bee in. Let's place the bee first. Then I'm gonna get out of here. Can you place him?
All right.
We're just gonna see if this is gonna work. I have more bees, so we're okay. Like, I'm curious now.
Run, hide.
I just want.
It's tough to know if he killed the bees or not. He did it. He did it. He did it.
Yo,
he did it. He did it.
This was the most jank and effective thing. That is the best thing I've ever.
It's so large.
Get back here, legend. You are my favorite bee. Get stomped on, nerd. Look at this. That's your thumbnail. Let's see. What emotes do I want? This feels like teabagging on him, you know? I find it funny that this whole thing was allowed to happen or able to happen just because the wall of our cage broke because of this jerk.
Basically, this series has turned into what can we not put in amber? What if you put a wannabe in amber? What would it farm?
Oh.
I don't know what would
I think the world would break.
So
bye.
So I'm just recording this now in between these clips because something absolutely tragic has happened. As you can see behind me, we have lost our best friend.
No. We haven't just lost him. What happened? Tell them the truth, Cal.
I was doing a little bit of lag busting around the server. It turns out that if you put a horse like Knés on a lead and put him on a dark oak fence, he was causing an exceptional amount of lag. So I thought what I'll do is I'll put a create seat down and I'll put him on the seat. Kind of the same way that we have Jeb over in the apiary. So I went and I put him onto the seat. And of course he started suffocating in the wall because he's larger than just the one block. And I freaked out and said, no, Knés. And I went to break the seat with my axe, but his hitbox extended out in front of the seat. And my axe ended our best friend.
It's incredibly silly, but I'm actually very, very sad about this. Like, this here is just some other skeleton horse. This is not Knés. You can tell by how slow he is.
Here lies Knés. But Knés will always have a place in our hearts. You really were the bee's knees. Oh. Alright, good night, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
But all of that sadness aside, we have to get building and we have to get working on our castle. So based on this layout, we're going to have 4 main towers. There's going to be this one, that one, and then these 2 right here. So there's going to be 4 towers on all of the north, south, east, and west directions. In the middle here, we're going to have the main sanctum with the big tower right on top. And on the sides here, we're going to have some smaller towers, which are going to actually be surrounding an area which is going to be kind of like a guardhouse. I think they're going to be 2 towers, and then this is going to basically come up to a certain height where there'll be like kind of a lookout area for the guard towers, and probably from on the inside, we'll actually give access to this area if we ever want to add some stuff in here from the main sanctum. And again, this isn't going to be an exact one-to-one of Breath of the Wild's Hyrule Castle. This is just going to be loosely taking inspiration from that. But to start off here, let's go ahead and just grab our wand, and this should hopefully give a bit of a base and see what this is going to look like. Now, what I'm going to do is just use our the wand with the random setting and also on exact. So if we just select our coal blocks, we should have it that all the coal blocks place the exact same the pattern. So if we right click here and do that, yeah, that looks about right. Now we're going to have to change it to just do any, so that if we go up here, we should be able to just build up once again with the exact same palette here, which it looks like it has. What I'm thinking we're going to end up doing with this exact shape is probably going to be the exact same palette as, or a very similar palette to the bridge. I don't think we're going to bother with the really dark stuff at the bottom, like the tiled deep slate and the mud. I think we'll start off at this darkness level, and we'll probably work our way up all the way to the stone brick and maybe even some andesite. We'll have to see. So in looking at this, I really want to make sure I get these proportions right, because if we do this kind of too short, everything's going to look just way too small and stubby. These are also going to have to be quite tall as well, but they're not going to be nearly as tall as the main towers on all four corners. So I think what I'm going to do actually is plan out kind of the generic heights of where I think is going to look good for each of these towers. And that'll help me kind of decide where I want each of the gradients to kind of start and end. Now there is an angel wand core that I can craft, and that actually will allow me to, I believe, craft this with our infinity wand. And I should now have a setting for this where I can change this to angel core. And I think if I come up here and right click with something in my offhand, I can like place this. Yeah, that's kind of cool. We just center ourselves here in the middle of the tower. I can come on up here, get nice and high, and take a look and see how this looks, for example. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. That actually may even be a little bit too tall for what I'm thinking for that area. If I bring this down by a few blocks, is that going to make that look any better? Yeah, I think that's probably where I'm thinking the build's going to come to for at least those towers. Now, I think the tower is going to come up to probably somewhere like here, and then we're probably going to end up having a roof on top of that. So that's going to be about the right height for the main tower piece itself. The roof I'm not including in that. Now let's take a look here with F3 and see what block this is that we're looking at. This is at Y level 182. We're going to want 182 to kind of be the level that we're going to have all of these built at here. So let's go ahead and just do that for all of them. All of those are placed in. And before I start doing the large ones, I do want to first get a kind of an idea of what this is going to look like in terms of the height. Cool. So let's do one layer of this, and that should be primarily the cut deep slate. Then we're going to go ahead and change it to be mostly the cut, or mostly the tough and less of the deep slate. So let's grab a little more out of this out. All right, so this is a good starting layer. Now, one thing that I'm thinking is I don't want this wall here to come up too much taller than this. And then I think the next layer up was going to be just going into cobblestone, which I think will look okay. I thought about going just to normal stone, and I want to check what that looks like. It's not a terrible transition. It's a pretty subtle one. Cobblestone adds a little bit extra detail, and then we'll probably end off with a little bit of stone brick at the top here. So we'll probably end up texturing maybe this layer even with some stone brick. You know what? That actually might be a little bit too tall. I'm looking at that now, and either the walls have to come up higher, which I think that might have to be the case as well. But I also think that this might just be a little bit too much. Okay, I think I'm a little happier with that height. I think that makes a little more sense. And there's a bunch of detail missing that I want to add into these towers. And I'm going to do probably one tower top here. I want to make one that I'm really, really happy with. And then what we're probably going to do is use the copy paste gadget to copy and paste them all onto these small tower locations, because there's quite a few of them. So there's no point in me hand building every single one. What I'll do is I'll hand build one, make it look really, really nice, and then we can go and just copy paste it very easily. I do want to actually add a little bit more depth on top here, because I do like the towers in Breath of the Wild have a little extra flair at the tops normally. All of the Sheikah towers that you can get throughout the game all kind of have a bit of a kind of a flared top, and then the top is very, you know, pointy with the roof. Let's get a look from the side here. I want a side profile. Yeah, that's not too bad. It gives the top a little extra character, I guess. And then what we can do is we can kind of just frame this all at the top and then start our nice pointy roof. So what I'll do is probably just do the exact same thing here on all four sides, and then maybe just merge them in here with a little bit more vertical slabs. And then I think I'm kind of happy with the top of that shape there. And a short time later, and I have got what I think is a pretty good template for the small tower. The problem that I do foresee, though, is getting this to copy paste could be a bit of a challenge, simply because I have been using a few of these framed panels in here. I tried to avoid them as much as I can normally, but some of the framed blocks just really help you create a really nice shape for a roof, even when you're working on a bit of a smaller scale like this. So now I have the fun job of going and grabbing a template of this using our building gadget, which is going to be the easy part, the copy paste gadget, and that should be our other point right there. Okay, perfect. So now what we do is just we shift right click on one of them and then right click on the other, and that should give us there we go. That should give us our copied area. And now we can go ahead and hit paste, and now we can move this thing around. And that should be exactly where we want this to paste into. And we'll just go ahead and gather our list of materials, and then we should have no problem just going ahead and going around and pasting all these in. Now, I actually don't even know if I need to bind the inventory. If it does read from my backpack, I can just throw all the stuff into the backpack. So I'll go ahead and gather our materials up, and I'll be right back. So all the materials are gathered here. Now, I don't think it's going to paste in the blocks for the framed blocks. I'm going to have to do those manually. So I'm going to have to actually get a little bit extra terracotta out probably. We should be able to just right click and it'll paste everything in. which it seems to have done quite well. So checking in on my progress, I have 5 of the 8 towers fully pasted in and completed. Unfortunately, I just ran out of dark steel. Dark steel is a resource from Ender.io that I've been using for these dark steel bars because I think they look really cool. They are a little bit darker than the iron bars and they add a little bit more contrast, but I think they look really good how I had them set up in there. Unfortunately, I again just ran out of it, and to get more dark steel, unfortunately, we didn't think ahead. I didn't think we were going to need that much of it. This is going to be a little bit tricky because dark steel bars require 6 dark steel ingots to make 16, and normally we would have to craft this up either using mystical agriculture, which we didn't think ahead to do because unfortunately the mystical agriculture seeds for dark steel require the compressed dark steel blocks. So that's 9 blocks per, which means that we're going to need quite a few of these ingots. So to craft up the ingots, if you don't do the mystical route, you have to go and use either the alloy smelter or the primitive alloy smelter. And to craft up these things, it looks like they require just some Ender.io components, and I'm hoping we can actually get this stuff going pretty quick because I really don't want to spend too much time. I really just want to finish my towers. So we need 1 iron, 1 coal dust, and 1 obsidian. Looks like we need to get one of these mortars and coal to make the coal dust. A few stacks, so we have 2 stacks of coal dust now. All right, this is pretty slow. So that's how we're going to get our dark steel. I can probably use some of my time in a bottle here to speed this up. Probably going to be here for a while, but I really want to get these towers done, so I'll be right back. And there we go. That is what the finished build looks like here with all of the 8 small towers done on the sides. I think that looks super cool. On second thought, instead of having this one main tower here up front, I think that's going to be a bit of an issue with some sight lines because the thing is we're going to want to have this area open because we're going to have the main sanctum and then the large tower up front. We kind of want that to be like the center of attention when you first look at it. That should be the thing that stands out the most, is that big tall tower right in the middle. And I have a feeling that this one big tower up front is going to kind of take away from that. So my idea is what I think we're going to do is put some sort of nice grand entrance here instead, which is a little bit different than my original plan, but I think that's going to be okay still. I think we can make that look really nice. And we'll still keep all the other cardinal towers, and we'll design those up in the future. But I think for now what we'll do is we'll just take this one out, and I think this is going to be kind of designated then as our entrance spot. Yeah, that's actually going to be a lot better. I already like the look of that a ton. And while I've been over there working on the castle, Grace has been also working over here, and she's been designing a very interesting sewer system. If we come on in here beside her gatehouse, there is this sewer that was just here aesthetically before, but now it actually goes down into a actual sewer. If we come in here, it is all dimly lit in here, and she has got this thing winding all through, and this sewer leads somewhere very, very, very evil. In the sewer, a darkness is brewing and growing ever stronger day by day. I mean, we have...
It's a sewer. But yeah,
the darkness that is brewing is nauseous fumes. This is what it looks like when it's fully lit. The dim look is, I think, a little bit more...
more the vibe.
more intentional than just this nice bright... It looks too cheery with it, but... Yeah, we're going to try and keep this kind of very moody in here. And we're probably going to end up doing some work with other mods in this area, but we're not going to give too much away doing that until we're ready to actually dive into those mods.
Got him!
Wait, Grace just summoned me on because apparently she's found Knés.
I found Knés! I have him in a quantum catcher because it's sunny outside.
Where did you find him? Where did you find him?
He was the mount of an undead knight.
Oh, he did spawn. Oh, Knés. He's back.
Actually Knés.
I will never harm you again, Knés. I'm so sorry.
Never harm him.
Oh, that was an emotional roller coaster of an episode because I'm pretty sure this is all happening in the same episode. Oh.
Okay, well that's good.
Wow.
Good for the audience at least.
What
I was in distress for like I don't know how many days has it been? A couple days. He's back.
Yay!
With Jeb and Button and Sprinkle.
Sprinkle's gonna be so happy to see him again. She's even holding his heart.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think that's the absolute perfect time to wrap up this episode. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really hope you did enjoy. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. But that's it from me and Knés, everybody. I hope you all have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye!